Coach, it feels like Isaiah Iosefa has really had a knack for the ball this camp. What has he improved the most since being here?
I think just being consistent. You know, he was always a guy when he got here last year, he showed the flashes of what he did in high school, but like with a lot of young guys, they're not sure where to put their eyes and, you know, how to transition and what the progression is, running past, all that type of stuff. And so you just see a guy that's consistent. You see a guy that being around Crook and Keyshawn every day, some of their habits have really started to rub off on him. So you're just seeing a little bit more consistency, and like with a lot of players, you know, at any position, anytime they're consistent, that breeds more confidence.
What have you thought about Owen Long so far?
I mean, he really brings some unique traits. Very athletic, moves well in space. I think can cover and tackle well in space. Getting him more comfortable in the box. I think today was one of his better days fitting the run, which is really exciting to see. So his habits have been really good. Like, he's been a good addition to the group, and I'm really just excited to see where as we knock the rust off of his understanding our system. He played in this system as a freshman at Colorado State. So every day you're seeing him progress a little bit faster than maybe other first-year players, because he's had some reps under his belt, kind of doing what we do and how we do it.
Speaking of progression and growth, how do you feel about Tristan and Prayer? How they come along?
You know what, Tristan, I mean, the first 4 or 5 days, I would argue he was probably the most consistent guy out of the group. You know what I mean? Just as far as, you know, he's had such a good offseason too. I think he had the best offseason, if you ask Coach Conley, out of all the guys. I think he lost 4 or 5% body fat, put on about 6 or 8 pounds, and you're seeing that on the field. Very similar to Isaiah. You're seeing a lot more consistency with him. He's still young. I still got to remind myself he's a true freshman. You know what I mean? And so at times you're going to see true freshman mistakes, but again, been pretty pleased with him.
And Prayer?
Prayer's done a good job. You know, he's kind of bounced back and forth between Mike and Wills, what you expect out of an older guy. Leading the group as far as effort and physicality, he's kind of the standard for, you know, the guy that's maybe taken that, I don't know, reins or that crown that Jordan Crook kind of carried, as kind of being the edgy, physical guy, the guy that's going to be a presence in there, and he's doing a really good job with it.
With Owen, he has a couple of brothers that have played at a high level. Have you kind of seen that with his comfortability at this level, just kind of settling in after seeing that kind of experience?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to his parents. Whatever they did, I think we should all take notes on that. You know what I mean? That many Division I brothers in multiple sports, right? I mean, it's impressive. Now, you could see just by their habits, you know, and Owen and I have probably a different relationship than even I had with Key and Crook at this time, because I recruited Owen out of high school, so I got to know him really well. And then I think Owen, in coming here, myself and Coach Ward, Coach Owen's former coordinator, position coach. So there was a lot of familiarity, and I think that's helped break through. It takes time for those guys get to know us and our personalities, and us to get to know them and what pushes their buttons. Does that make sense? And I think I'm hopeful, but it feels like we're moving a little bit faster with him compared to maybe some of the other transfers we've gotten in the past.
How's Cyrus move along this spring?
Really good. Man, it's good to have him back out. You know, just a veteran presence, literally the father figure in the room, literally now that he's got a kid, but like just the way he carries himself and his maturity, a guy with that much experience. And it's like any of the guys that you guys have been here long enough, and you see those guys in our system play long enough, they play really, really fast. They've seen the same pictures over and over and over, and he's been extremely productive, but been really, really proud of where his leadership has grown. And we're going to need it. He's really going to have to step up, and from a vocal standpoint or by example, be an alpha.
Hey, Coach, Martell, we've seen him grow pretty steadily over the last couple of years. What have you seen from him personally, like growing as a leader and as a player both?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the hardest spring for him, because it's the first guy where he's got to look around, and you don't have Caleb, he doesn't have Keyshawn, he doesn't have Crook, he doesn't have some of the older guys that really did a great job mentoring him, you know, so I think he's kind of finding his way, whether it's vocally or by example, and how he's going to lead, if that makes sense. I've been really pleased with him the last 2 days. I think he's played really good ball, and so he's starting to find that comfortability in who he's going to be. That's been my message to him, is like, listen, you don't have to be Key, you don't have to be Caleb, like, be the best version of who you are as a leader and as a player, and he's starting to do that.
What is the biggest challenge replacing two guys like that?
Well, those guys, you guys saw, that's 200 tackles, and I don't know, you guys know the stats. Like, but I would say even more so, what those guys brought to this whole team from a daily standpoint. I mean, you could count on, I mean, I'd get here in the morning and Key would beat me here, and I'd walk out at night and Crook was walking back in. Their habits, I mean, it's put them in the position that for what they're going to be able to achieve now. So I'd say their habits, the standards in which they held other people to, and the way they led, and they balanced each other really well. Crook was a great vocal leader. He stirred the pot. He was one of the energy guys on defense, and Keyshawn was that guy, kind of what I would say CJ Fight's transitioning into, the guy that he doesn't have to say a lot, but when he does, everybody stops and listens. And so, like, you're not just going to replace those guys. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to find other ways to fill those. But, yeah, we're certainly wish those guys the best and miss them a lot. But, yeah, those guys they're going to leave an impact on this place for a long, long time.
What made you want to add Ramir?
Again, I recruited him in high school, so you knew him. I think one of the biggest things we've seen here, at least, is like correlating factor success is did we know the young man and his family coming out of high school? You know, I think that helps break the ice because you got to remember they're uprooting, they're leaving a school, and the time that it usually takes a freshman to get to know people, to gain trust, not just with me, with strength, with nutrition, with academics. Like, let's call it what it is. We don't have that much time in college football anymore. You know what I'm saying? So just a guy that had been here, if I remember correctly, had taken 2 or 3 unofficial visits out of high school. And so when that opportunity came up and you had a guy that was as productive as he was, I think he was 80-something tackles and 7 sacks and a very productive guy, that's a piece of the puzzle, especially with a long athlete like that you can continue to develop and build over 3 years.